Hey, want to know whether the doctor is alive or finished? At my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. That was quite obvious. Death lurked 4 inches away. Death was moving just near him. Suppose it struck. It is for the snake. What was the medicine I had to take? His mind was at work. There were no medicines in the room, and he was a doctor. And then he realized I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. His thoughts about himself changed. Earlier, he kept on saying that he was a bachelor and, on top of that, a doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. The realization made him smile at himself feebly, weakly, because at that time he was helpless, he couldn't do anything. It seemed as if God appreciated that. God liked that the man had self realization. The snake turned its head. That means his life was somewhat safe now. The doctor's life. It looked into the mirror. The snake looked into the mirror and saw its own reflection. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain, it was sure that that particular snake was surely looking at its own reflection into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Admiring? Praising? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? Eyeshadow, mascara, this is makeup stuff, and vermilion spot, vermilion mark is the red mark which is used by married ladies on the forehead. I did not know anything for certain. Of course, how could he be certain what the snake had been thinking about? What sex was the snake, whether male or female, I will never know. For the snake, reason was the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap, moved into his lap. From there it crept is the second form, onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its own reflection at closer quarters, from a close distance. I was no mere image cut in granite. Now he was not sitting still. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood, because now he got a chance to run away from there, still holding my breath. I got up from the chair without making any noise. He stood up. I quietly, without making any noise, went out through the door into the veranda. From there, leapt into the yard. He jumped into the yard and ran for all I was worth. He ran as fast as he could. It's an interjection to express relief. Each of us heaved a sigh of relief. They all felt relieved. Somebody asked, "Doctor, is your wife very fat?" Let's read the answer. No, the doctor said. God willed otherwise. God desired exactly opposite. My life companion, that means his wife, is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. That means she was quite good at running. Reedy means thin and flexible. Someone else asked, "Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you?" Everybody wanted to know. The doctor replied, "I ran and ran till I reached a friend's house. Immediately, without any delay, he spread oil all over himself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there, because he decided to leave that place. But we found we had little to carry. Hardly any stuff was left there. Some thief had removed most of my things. So last blow, the last misery, the last suffering was yet to come. He had to suffer that yet. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. And what was that? I asked. I is the narrator. The doctor said, "My vest, the undershirt, the dirty one." And this doctor was quite proud of his appearance, but he had unhygienic ways. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness which the doctor did not have. The rascal, the scoundrel, the dishonest person could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. That was another insult, another embarrassment for the doctor. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? Somebody asked. The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty, just like the doctor was. Now, students, we can say it could be a pun here as well, because the doctor also left his room where he used to live and he did not see that snake again. I hope the chapter is clear. You are most welcome if you have any doubt. Thank you for being with me.